It is the Assembly who makes a king, and a king who nominates his successor. None of it is carried in the blood.
Or, as now, when someone tries using the Assembly to pull a coup. Who's to say what my father said in his final hours, when the usurper Harrowmont was the only one by his side?
I'll have you thrown in prison.
You've bitten off more than you can chew!
Handlers, separate these dashers in the Diamond Quarter. I will not have Balin incite a riot.
Do not speak that way about the man who should be king! Idiots. I won't have fighting in the Commons, especially in front of outsiders. I find that sort of law happened in the Legion. Pieta! I have enough crime without some castless carrying weapons in the city. Your actions risk pain of death. Name yourself! The Grey Warden recruit? They said you were a brand, but I thought it a joke. Surfacers and their cloud-addled heads. Fine, O illustrious Grey Warden. What do you want? Surface problems. Well, we have no king to hear you. You can join the shouting at the Assembly in the Diamond Quarter if you want. Bunch of Desher lords bickering over sand. Balin, Harrowmont. Is one so different? No paragons here. They've caged themselves for fear of each other. As you've seen, keeping order down among us working people is dodgy. No place for a proper lord. Balin speaks through his second, Vartag Gavorn, in the Assembly. Lord Harrowmont speaks through Dulin Ferender from his estate. You have little faith in your own city, Brand. Excuse me, Warden, but this isn't Dust Town. The tavern is open and the market is busy. Orzammara's suffered worse. The ancestors will see us through. Yes, you should.
Wow. So this is Orzammar.
So, you truly do not believe in any sort of higher power?
It has been bothering you, I see. No, I do not. Must I?
What do you believe happens to you after you die, then? Nothing?
I do not go to sit by the Maker's side, if that's what you mean.
Only those who are worthy are brought to the Maker's side. So many other sad souls are left to wander in the void, hopeless and forever lost.
And what evidence of this have you? I see only spirits, no wandering ghosts of wicked disbelievers.
It must be so sad to look forward to nothing, to feel no love and seek no reward in the afterlife.
Yes, the anguish tears at me so. You have seen through me to my sad, sad core.
Now you're simply mocking me.
You notice? It appears your perceptive powers know no bounds.
Did you see that? I cannot believe what this city has come to. This would never have happened when Endrin was alive. I thought you'd know this. What a terrible burden for a father to have only Balin left of 3 fine sons. In the end, Endrin himself recognized that Balin cared for nothing but power. It was Endrin who ordered his son away from his deathbed and embraced Lord Harrowmont as his heir. He is a good man and a skilled general. King Endrin trusted him with his life, and I will do no less. Everybody knows he killed his brother Trian and let his father's favorite son take the blame. And many question whether Endrin died abed, as we were told, or whether Balin helped him along. He died in bed after his eldest son was murdered, and the Assembly condemned his second son for it. I cannot blame him for preferring to join the ancestors in eternal peace, if Balin didn't murder him himself. Only as a potential match for one of his sons. He was a good king, stern and fair and just. I am Narav Helmi, third daughter of the second matron of House Helmi. And you, stranger, what brings you to Orzammar at such a time? A Grey Warden? But there are no Dwarven Grey Wardens this generation except for... Oh, that's who you are. I thought with the brand, I assumed you were a surfacer. I have to go.
I knew I should have stuck to common nugs. I've gone and lost them too. I'll never find them the way they skitter.
Common nugs. I don't like those. They look dirty.
No way I'm going back to that supplier in Dust Town. Guess I'm shutting it down. Gotta boil them before roasting, but otherwise no, safe as sand. Some people swear they make good pets. May as well leash a turnip, I say. Good on you, stranger. Only need one to turn this around.
I have heard much about the halls of the Dwarven Kings, but the stories do it no justice. It is so strange, harsh, yet beautiful. And have you seen those tiny pig-like burrowing animals? They are adorable. I wish I could have one as a pet. But they must be hard to catch and... Oh, just ignore me. I'm so silly sometimes. Let's just go.
Go on, I'm out of the nug game. Got nothing to sell. Saraka, I'm back in the game. Such as it is. I don't have much besides gratitude, but find a bunch more of these and I'll toss you whatever I found.
Excuse me, do you have a moment? Oh, I actually was talking to your companions, or are you from the surface too? Oh, wonderful! I've been trying forever to find someone who really knows the surface world. I don't suppose you've heard of something called the Circle? I've been trying to reach someone there for years. I've sent missives with every caravan, but I never get a reply. I want to know if they would accept me for study. I want to go to the Circle to study.
I assure you that desire will depart the moment you arrive.
I don't want to do magic. No dwarf can cast spells, but I don't see why I shouldn't study it. It would be a valuable exchange. Orzammar would learn of one of the great natural forces of the surface. And the Circle gains direct access to our knowledge of lyrium smithing. That would be wonderful. My name is Dagna, daughter of Janar of the Smithcast. Tell them I've already begun reading the Tevinter Imperiums for Tikum Kadab, and it's just fascinating. Did you know the Imperial Magister Lords once had genealogies of every human family known to produce a mage child?
She's so enthusiastic and adorable. I'm glad we're helping her.
Oh, I'll go pack my bags right now. I'll be waiting by my father's shop.
Greetings, and welcome to Garen Garrison's Luxury Goods Shop. Wow, there are a lot of you. And I've never seen one of those before. The things they come up with. What was I saying? Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't notice. Most people don't anymore. Or maybe they're too polite to mention it. I had a little incident a few years back. Too much time with the raw lyrium ore, you know. Maybe it was a bad vein. I cut myself and the dust got straight in the blood. Since then, it's been a little hard for me to concentrate. Except when forging, then I'm straight as an arrow. Best work I've ever seen. Look around the shop. See for yourself.
The Deep Roads are home to the Darkspawn now. Oddly, they're supposed to be safer to travel during a blight.
I'm sorry, but I cannot allow you past the front lines without Adesh's permission. And I've heard nothing of any new patrols scheduled to leave today. Into the Deep Roads? Not without a full unit of soldiers to back you, my friend. Or Adesh's permission to risk yourself. Orzammar can't afford to lose its citizens or honored guests on casual visits to the Deeps. Of course not. Down here, you're bound to run into giant spiders, deep stalkers, and other vermin. Ugly beasts they are. Walk on two legs, but they have the head of a worm and hunt in packs. Watch out. They're not afraid to take on a group their own size. A few outposts. Legion of the Dead, mostly. Fools that they are. Some scavenger types, too. You know the Legion, don't you? Anyone who can bear arms can join, no matter his crimes. Or sanity. They hold a funeral when they join, and swear their only goal is a glorious death. Aye, for your sake, I hope you've no reason to come here again.
You're the best wrangler I've ever seen. But there's more out there.
Welcome to Jannar Family Armorers. I assume you have some kind of dispensation to let you wear all that. Many apologies. I had to ask. So, what can I help you with? For 100 generations. My father made his name by inventing a Fald and Tacet, which were integrated into the cuirass. But, I'm guessing by your face, you're not a smith yourself. I stay out of politics. It's not good for a smith to get the attention of those who grant vendors licenses. Lord Harrowmont's a fair man. My father did business with him, and he always paid on time. But the Idukans have served us well. If it is the ancestors' wisdom to keep them on the throne, I cannot object. Has she been bothering you? Gets a whiff of surface stink and she's like a cave tick. Won't let go. Do you even know what that means? If Dagna goes to the surface, she forfeits her caste. She'll never be able to marry or work in Orzammar again. Dwarves don't do magic. Dagna knows that. It's just a childhood fantasy that dies hard. Please, if you see her, send her back and let me talk some sense into her.
You're back? But it takes 2 weeks and 4 days minimum to make the journey to the Circle Tower.
Why do I get the feeling charting routes to the Circle Tower is one of her favorite hobbies?
I'm guessing you haven't left yet. You talked to him? Of course he won't let me go. He wants to sell me off for the highest dowry. I don't care if I lose my caste. I'll stay on the surface forever. Here in Orzammar, we're surrounded by stone and tradition and more stone. Nothing ever changes. But to break every natural law by thinking about it, to dream and walk in a realm where everything you think comes true, I can't imagine anything more wonderful. Well, I've waited 19 years. Another month won't kill me.
Ancestors, guard my son, for he is lost in darkness. Mothers, keep him safe. Mr. Moore.
You're back.
Why do I get...
I'm guessing you haven't left yet. I don't care if I lose my... Thank you, thank you.
Maker's blessing on you, brother. The Maker brought forth this world and every creature in it. He chose a human woman as his prophet and bride, but he loves all races. I'm Brother Burkle of the Red Cliff Chantry, returned to my ancestors' land to spread the chant of light.
Even in the very bowels of the earth, we hear no end of this chant.
And that is something to rejoice in, good sister. I'm petitioning to open a chantry in Orzammar. The Shaperate controls changes in Orzammar's structure and society. I need the Shaper of Memory's permission to open a prayer meeting. Oh, I'd hoped you'd say that. I can see the Maker's hand on your shoulder, guiding you always.
If this chantry could help just one person as much as it helped me, it's worth any trouble.
Please, let me know as soon as you've heard anything.
A brand in the Commons. And outfitted like a topsider, no less. Good! Let people see Castless have a purpose. The more cracks in the old way, the better. That's what Balin stands for. Not your business, but I see where the gold is. He's the traditional pick, yet he wants a new way, whether some like it or not. Just as many say Harrowmont. Neither are paragons, and the scales being equal, I go with the promise of more trade. Can't find ore without splitting some stone. My investments are solid, I'll be fine. The Assembly has done us a favor. They've shown just how loose the sand is under our feet. It opens people to change. Orzammar will decide what we can or can't be. Blight may be imminent on the surface, but our warriors are well seasoned against dark spawn. There will be topsiders left for trade. There's no end to them. I'll take your gold. You're good for that.
I'm sorry. Did you have an offering for the ancestors? I can move aside. I don't have much to bring them. My name is Vilda. widow of Turok of the Smith caste. I pray here every day for my son, Ruck. I only wish I knew whether I should be asking for his safe return or for the ancestors to accept his soul. It was 5 years ago. He was only a youngster. He joined a Deep Roads excursion, the only Smith to go with the warriors to repair their arms. He was so proud, but he got separated somehow. When they came home, he wasn't with them. The captains don't want to lose anyone searching for stray men. Too many were taken by Darkspawn that way. How? There is no way except to brave the deep roads yourself. A warden. So you could do it. Only wardens face the deep roads without a company backing them. Oh, thank you. The ancestors finally heed my prayers. Please, find me as soon as you return.
Please, don't encourage Dagna further. Tell her you were wrong and that her place is with her family. Of course, keep in mind we also take items on trade.
Let me guess. This is where the poor people live.
There's a we'll get plenty for their tin once we cut them out of it.
Push them back!
Too much. This is a waste of time.
Lost our hand.
It will be done. Yes.
Your clothes are so fancy. Did you get them topside? My mam used to say they don't got no stone to protect them topside. If I go up there, I'm gonna fall into the sky. Yes. When my doll left, he never came back. Who's to say he didn't fall up, eh? Nugs? Yes. They don't got much meat on them, but down here you can't be picky. Better than nothing. What for? You going to cook them up yourself? Yeah, I can find a nug for you. Could even get one from outside the city. Those ones in the deeps don't eat as much garbage. I don't know what they eat, but they always seem healthier, you know? Shiny coats, bright eyes. How much you giving me? Don't know. Depends on how big a one I catch. Give me some time. I'll hunt him down for you.
Well, look at that. It's not often old Nadezhda sees a fine-dressed stranger here in Dusttown. Help a poor cripple. Well, I'll be a drunken nug. You're Rika's little brother. You used to work for Barat before you jaunted off to be a Grey Warden. What in the dust are you doing here? Oh, sure. You'll see him around. Not like when you two were cracking skulls together, though. You had the whole neighborhood terrified. Aye, I did some soldiering for Barat. Until some new commissioned guardsmen decided to teach some brands a lesson. Broke both my knees, then made me kneel in dung for an hour until I passed out from the pain. Never mended right. Barat tossed me on the street since I had no more use. Pretty much how my mam told me I'd end up. Ah, and look what happened to you. Shows what mothers know. Jarvi has been real shrewd. Some of the men thought Barat made a bad choice in her, but they're all feeding the lava. She killed a few of Barat's relatives topside, got them in line, and the goods have been fast and steady since. You, look like you've done well. You sure you can't spare a beautiful? I owe you when I get back on my feet. I'll think of you when I go to bed with a full stomach.
Spare a bit for the needy? Have you a coin to spare, my lord? It's for my son. He's sick. He hasn't any clean clothes to wear or anything to eat today. Neither have I. I am nothing! My family has disowned me. I'm no longer welcome in any mining caste hall. Unless... But no! I can't bear to even think of it! My name is Erlinda. I wasn't always like this. I was born to a mining caste family. We weren't wealthy, but I never went hungry before. Now it's all gone, and it's my own fault. Ancestors curse me, but there's nothing I can do to set it right. I've heard that word. It's a human term, right? For a child with no father? Well, my son has a father, for all the good it's done him. He was casteless, and I think... No, I know he was just trying to father a higher caste child so he could petition for status. But our child was a son, casteless like his father. My parents disowned me and stripped my caste from me. Unless I agree to abandon the child in the deep roads and pretend I never bore him. You would do that? But why? Truly? And look at the finery you wear. Maybe there is hope for my boy after all. Then I cannot offer enough gratitude. But I warn you, my father is a stiff-necked man. His name is Ordell, and he's usually at Tapster's in the evening. I do not think he will listen to you. But I will wait anxiously to see if you can do what you promise.
Allow me. I could do that for you.
I got him. He's all squirmy, but he's a big fella. Don't know. I'll take anything you can give. He's a fat one, though. Worth a bit. I knew you'd be good on your word. Nice doing business.
Oh, it's one of those subterranean bunny pigs. Oh, look at him. Come here, you. Thank you so much. You've made my day.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice. Oh, thank you. That's very nice.
I am yours.
What are you looking for? We got nothing to buy for the likes of you. Or maybe you wanted to sell. Well, our business is kind of covert, if you know what I mean. It's illegal in Orzammar for me to engage in protected trade, but they look the other way if I share things with my friends. For money. Why don't you take a look?
Tell me.
It will be done.
I tried Dwarven Ale once. I thought it was just something they tricked surfers into drinking, as a joke.
If you want to drink in here, Brand, you'd better have the coin. I'll know if it was stolen. Aye? Maybe I can help. He's the one in the corner, still dusty from the mines. Don't expect him to be chatty.
I don't share drinks with castless. Oh, I'm the monster, not the castless wretch that filled my daughter with his brat. I've got a family and a reputation to protect. I'm not letting one stupid girl drag us all down. Murder? You think she'd die just to keep that thing? She knows what she has to do to come home. I never wanted her gone. Just the little cur. Can't she see she'd have a better life if she got rid of it? Look, just tell her... We never meant to hurt her. It just seemed best that... Oh, just tell her to come home. Her mother and I are waiting for her. In Dwarven Vavaragas, vi in
What? Get away. You'll change like the rest. Monsters hidden in all my friends. They follow you. Once you are in the story, they possess your friends and follow. See? I found copies. All from the same pen, and older than the ones in song. Dormant my ass. Take them. I want out. I won't disappear chasing a lie. I won't.
Told him I don't understand why the provings aren't open to everyone. I mean, it's how the ancestors show their favor. Do they really need our help to decide who's worthy? And then he practically slapped me. Lord Dennick Helmi, honored Desher of the Orzammar Assembly, and terrible disappointment to my esteemed mother, who doesn't like me spending time in taverns. So I'm curious. You've been living on the surface, right? Does it function any worse than Orzammar for having abolished caste? Very good. I guess someone already told you I was good for nothing, drinking my life away at tapsters. Or did they leave off at greatest shame to ever fall upon the Assembly? I've always liked that one. You know, most smiths and tavern keeps would make decent deshers if we gave them a chance and a seat in the Assembly. Orzammar are so mired in tradition, no one bothers asking if the castes are even necessary. Me and 79 other fine, upstanding examples of how someone who's born into every privilege inevitably wants more. They're not fond of my views on equality. I doubt either candidate has been outside the Diamond Quarter in his life. But Lord Harrowmont seems a bit more forgiving. Prince Balin's brilliant, I'll give him that, and subtle as sin. But I don't think anything in Orzammar matters more to him than winning. As you wish.
You're back. I thought you weren't coming. What did he say? Both of us? I don't believe he said that. I've never heard him refer to my son as anything but trash. He calls him it. But maybe Mother convinced him. Or you did. Oh, my friend. I cannot thank you enough. If this were a story, my son would grow to manhood and pledge himself as a knight in your service. When he grows up, I will send him to you. I promise.
Who are you?
You don't look like any guardsman I ever saw, and that's not much of a uniform. Oh, you looking for a chance to bring in some coin? Could be I have that opportunity. Especially for someone with a few connections above ground. Human kings, you know, they make these ridiculous laws. Like about who gets to buy and sell lyrium, the sacred gift the stone provides us to show her love. No law should regulate that. The laws are meant to keep mages away from the stuff, so there's always buyers in the Circle Tower. I got one man named Godwin. He's expecting a delivery of a stone's weight. You want an investment opportunity? I could see fit to, say, sell you that lyrium instead, at the reasonable price of 50 sovereigns. You can keep it, or, since you can travel freely from here, sell it to Godwin, who you know is buying. And if you bring back his return order, I could pay you, say, 20 sovereigns as a finder's fee. Most dwarves born down here have a natural immunity. Other races, there are problems if they spend too long with the ore. The real issue is that lyrium's valuable. It's only found down here, and human mages can't work without it. Long as you keep your eyes down and your mouth shut, we've got no further business.
I will never get over how quietly you are able to move.
It took me years and years to learn, and even then I'm not the best at it.
So you didn't sneak around when spying?
We all had different ways of doing things. Some preferred not to be seen at all, to cloak themselves in shadow and darkness. I realized that it is not such a bad thing to be seen, as long as you do not stand out and are quickly forgotten. I specialized in blending in, not drawing attention and looking like I had every right to be there. It is invisibility, but of another kind.
Ah, yes, but I heard you often seduced your targets. They'd remember you.
Not if they died.
Oh.
Dying while in the company of a lovely seductress. Tell me that isn't a good death.
I don't know if I should take you seriously. But you scare me sometimes.
You're the best wrangler I've ever seen. You're the best You're the best... I trust Vala, my nug-wrangling friend.
I can't believe it. I heard a dwarven Grey Warden came to Orzammar and I couldn't help but hope. Look at you. My little brother, the returning hero. And with quite the unusual entourage. You look so good, and so fancy. I've been worrying that we're living in luxury while you're suffering on the road. Can you imagine? As of last month, I'm a royal concubine to House Iduken. They've moved Mother and me into the palace. You could fit our whole neighborhood just in the bathing room. I wish you could meet little Endrin, but they don't let me bring him outside the royal nursery. Mother is... Mother. We have everything we could want now, but... Well, you know what they say. You can't leave Dusttown if you always take it with you. And I haven't seen Lesky since he left. Balin doesn't like me spending time off the estate. What about you? Has life been hard up there? All the news from the surface says terrible things are happening. Darkspawn attacks and a civil war among the humans. Ancestors, save us. I was afraid you'd say that. I hate this. Until there's a king, the Assembly would let the world collapse rather than bow to anyone's better judgment. But I'm Balin's concubine now. I know his chief lieutenant, Vartag Gavorn. He can help you if anyone can. He may be suspicious at first. Don't take it personally. It's been so hard to tell who's against us.
Rika, I'm at the Assembly. This is no place for a woman. What do you mean by this?
Vartag, this is my brother. He comes on behalf of the Grey Wardens, with dreadful news.
Of course. I wasn't thinking. It would be hard not to notice the Grey Warden and his eclectic entourage. I hear you seek the aid of Orzamar's finest. Yes, the treaty. I've seen it in the Shaper's libraries. Now the difficulty is that the treaty only compels our king, and we are sadly lacking one of those right now. My prince is the rightful king, but a disappointing number of lords back the upstart Harrimont for the throne. If you show your support for Prince Balin, he might be able to assist with your requests. That hurts worst of all. That Harrimont would take advantage of the dying king's delirium to plant such poisonous suspicions against his own son. After that, you understand why Balin cannot trust the word of a stranger, however close to family that stranger might be. Would you be willing to prove that? Harrimont has engaged in a campaign of bribery and coercion to ensure that every house serves him. But if a neutral party, a stranger, were to approach certain key members, perhaps with irrefutable evidence of Harrimont's deception, I'm certain my Lord Prince would show his gratitude. Harrimont promised the same portion of his estate to two different Deshers, Lady Dace and Lord Helmy. Harrimont can't possibly grant it to both of them, but they won't find out until after the vote is cast. I have copies of the promissory notes Harrimont gave each of them. Once they see those, they should both reconsider their votes. Lady Dace doesn't leave the quarter much, but Lord Helmy's adventurous, likes to spend his time at Tapster's in the Commons. Remember, don't tell them you got these papers from me. You learned of them and drew your own conclusions.
I knew Vartag could help you. And just wait until you meet Prince Balin. You'll love him. He isn't, but Gavorn is a very minor house, and Balin has always favored them. Vartag's son was fostered with Iduken, which was a great honor. Balin promised that when little Indrin is 12, he'll spend a year there in exchange. Finally, you ask. He's beautiful, with the biggest brown eyes, and so smart. He already knows who his father is. I'm sure his first word will be Prince. But you're giving me that look. I can take a hint. Finish your business and we can talk later. Not a lot. She's supposed to be very practical. She doesn't care about larger issues, only how her own house is affected. Vartag speaks favorably of her dedication. His mother is getting on in years and gave up her assembly seat to him. Many of the nobles think he's a disappointment. He actually thinks the lower classes are people. I could almost like him if he wasn't such a vocal supporter for Harrimont. Off with you then. Far be it for me to keep you from service to my house. I still love saying that. My house.
The Assembly is in session. Enter quietly if you wish to observe.
Your mind has gone to dust if you think we would pass such a writ. Half our houses would go broke without the surface trade.
The proposal is only effective until we have a king to ensure we are respected by the surfacers.
Leaving you conveniently positioned to take over all contracts. I'll see your head on a pike first.
Deshers, lords and ladies of the Assembly. I've already doubled the guard to prevent violence. Must I summon more?
Steward Bandalore, Balin's sympathizers are tying our hands with trivialities. They may as well open us to the sky.
I suggest we put the matter to a vote.
And I suggest you have a taste of my family's mace.
Enough! The Assembly is in recess until the members can regain control of their emotions. Stone-forsaken fools and dusters. I'm sorry. This is the Assembly of the Clans. Only Dashers and occasional guests of state are allowed in. Forgive me. I am so exhausted. I completely forgot about the message from the Gate Guard. Welcome back to Orzammar, Warden. A great deal has changed in recent days. Respect for your role is great, but you won't receive a proper hearing until we have a king on the throne. I must admit, Warden, I am at a loss myself. It lies with Prince Balin or Lord Harrowmont, and they are slow to trust anyone in these uncertain times. I only wish there was more I could do for you.
I heard there was a Grey Warden here. I am Dulin Forrender, second to Lord Harrowmont, King Endrin's own choice as successor. Word is spreading that the surface may suffer a blight. It is shameful we are not in a better position to help. In an ordinary time, Lord Harrowmont would be honored to meet you. Unfortunately, we've already caught more than one of Balin's spies approaching Harrowmont under a pretense of friendship. So I'm afraid I won't be able to take your word. If you want to speak to Harrowmont, you will need to prove he can trust you. If you wish to show you have no loyalty to Balin, then work against him in Harrowmont's name. Balin is hosting a proving today, supposedly to honor his father's memory. The Deshers take it very seriously, and unfortunately, Balin found some way to blackmail or intimidate House Harrowmont's best fighters into stepping down. It would certainly make your loyalties loud and clear. Balin would never work with anyone who humiliated him in that way. Harrowmont would have no fear of meeting with you then. Excellent. The arena is located off the Commons. Talk to the Proving Master and tell him you're entering Lord Harrowmont's roster. The key fighters we lost were Guidon and Baisel. You can look for them in the fighters' preparation chambers behind the ring. And be sure it's before the fights begin. After the first bout, no one may change the roster. If you need to find me again, I will wait in the Tapster's Tavern off the Commons. There is no better place to hear gossip. Perhaps even word of your victory.
Thief! Who would dare take from the memories? Warden, I'm outraged. A thief in the Shaperate. What have we been reduced to? I did. He was bald, with the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being castless. Imagine! No offense, Warden. He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dusttown. They couldn't know the value. Of course.
Oh, pardon me. Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I, don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research. I was looking for something about the Ortan Tig. It was lost during the last Blight, and there aren't many records left. They were a noble house once, descended from the Paragon Ortan, who composed the grand epic of the Seven Brothers and the Ortonic Symphony. My mother's family believes they were descended from Kalana Ortan, who was training in Orzammar when the Tig fell. I'm even named for the house, Orta. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the deep roads. You're castless! What do you know about fighting Darkspawn? There aren't even any expeditions planned until they settle this election. Otherwise, you need special permission from the Assembly, or some great lord. A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear Prince Balin and Lord Harrowmont have both been sending out small teams these days. Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking. It's almost too much to hope.
When I last walked this hall, Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The memories often speak of the swiftness with which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories. The Grey Warden's visit has been recorded in the memories, along with all who accompany you. These are Harrowmont lands promised here. But these are not the deals we approved at the Shaperate. Where did you get these? If you wish, you can make your words as false as the documents you bear. And keep your silence. The Shaperate will launch its own investigation into these forgeries. You are an outsider, Warden, but not outside the law. I hope you will not do anything to challenge the stability of Orzammar. Ah, you return, Warden. Is there more you would know from Orzammar's memories? That is an odd request. Have you grown so fond of the Surfacer's ways in your brief absence? I thought so. This is not the first time he's made this plea. My answer to Brother Burkle hasn't changed. So I ask you the same. On what basis would you have me insult the ancestors and overturn 2,000 years of tradition? What sort of charities do you mean? I am not certain this is in Orzammar's best interests. Our castes have served us well, but it's possible this service could benefit our people. Very well, he may hold a prayer meeting as he requested, if not build a new temple to his god. At least the words would come from one of our own. Now, is there anything more? Perhaps the books here can make up for the lack of attention you paid your elders. We were a great empire once, and our land stretched through the deep roads. Kal Sharok was capital then, but we lost too many battles. We lost our golems, and we lost our territory. Now the Empire is simply ruined tunnels filled with Darkspawn. The Paragon Caridin, a smith of unsurpassed genius, invented the golems. For years they were our weapon against the Darkspawn. One golem is worth a dozen dwarves in battle, but Caridin's Tig is far into the deep roads. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. There are books about it along these walls if you would read more. At the other side of the old empire, During the last Blight, the kings of Orzammar knew they couldn't hold everything. They sealed the deep roads, abandoning everyone still trapped in far-flung settlements. It was the only way to survive. Kal Sharok is the only other city to outlast the Blight. We only rediscovered them recently, and they still haven't forgiven us. Your presence here has been recorded in the memories. I wish I knew what significance it has.
Yes.
It will be done.
Allow me. I could do that for you.